So I thought I would come on today to talk about the cycles that you go through during the purging phase of Kundalini awakening. And these cycles, they're kind of like a spiral because they just continue and continue and continue throughout your awakening. And, at one point of the spiral, you might be up in the light and feeling energized and full of new ideas and excited about um, creating, and just you can hardly keep up with all of the energy and growth and expansion that's happening within you. And it feels really great. But then when you come down to the opposite end of it, which inevitably you will each time continually, you're going to go into the depth of your subconscious and be digging up more stuff at the level of wherever the level of light or awareness you're at. So wherever you are at the top, that's the level, the surface level that you're going to dig into your subconscious at and pull up whatever needs to be pulled up from that particular level of that rotation of the cycle. Hope I'm making sense. So you just continually go round and round through these ups and downs, and I can't actually decide if the spiral is actually getting more and more narrow, like as you go, because you're digging in deeper and deeper as you go. Like as you're hitting more and more highs, you're going into more and more lows, like really dense energy, and digging very deeply into your past karma or programming and beliefs, and coming out, and you can be at a much higher level of awareness, connection, expansion. So it's like in some ways you're getting more and more to a point within yourself, but then again you're also getting wider and wider, the spiral, because it's you're expanding out more and more, and you're expanding into more and more of your darkness, into more and more of your subconscious material. So it's kind of both at once, if that makes any sense. And so the reason that I wanted to talk about this is because like the month of April and going into May have just been really, like, I personally feel like I've been through the ringer. And I don't know if all of you are old enough to know that phrase, because my grandmother, her washing machine was just a wash bin, and then it had two rollers at the top, and you had to crank, you pushed the clothing through these rollers and you had to crank it through, and it would squeeze out all of the water from the clothing, and that was called the wringer. And I feel like these past few weeks that I was put through that wringer, just being squeezed through, and all this dense, heavy energy just being like pushed out of me. And it was intense and very uncomfortable and not fun at all. So I haven't made any videos in the past couple of weeks because just it was a bit rough. And now I'm seeing the 999s, the end of the cycle, and seeing the 111s and 1111, starting a new cycle again. So yeah, it's like I've talked about it in other videos before. It's like when I'm holding a really high vibration of love or of joy. It's like, afterwards I'm going down, not intentionally, going down into the darkness from holding that vibration for however long I hold it for. Then I get pulled down into the subconscious stuff that gets pulled up from holding that vibration. And so it just like continues to just spiral around. You might feel like, oh, I've got to this high. I'm feeling like I can hold the vibration of love, and it feels great. I feel like I've finally arrived or made it to some kind of completion. But then, however long it takes, sometimes you can have it happen really quick, like even within a day, you're already getting plunged into the darkness, or it can be, a couple days, weeks, months, where you're feeling great, and then, boom, you're back down in it again, and hanging in there through the dense energies. And so it's like I'm currently 9 years into a Kundalini awakening and still going through this. And I gave up on thinking that I was almost finished with this many years ago, because like I can remember like after like a year and a half or 3 years or 5 years, I kept thinking, oh, I feel like I'm almost at the end. But it just keeps going and going and going. And not to dishearten anyone about this process, but it goes for as long as it needs to go. And for me, I didn't have my Kundalini awakening until I was 50 years old, and so it's a lot of negative thinking and bad karma and negative actions and just negative beliefs, and being really out of alignment for decades and decades. And so I've got a lot of stuff to undo. I'm grateful for the speed of it, even if it is taking a long time to get through this. I actually just want to say that you're not doing anything wrong when you think you've arrived and then you get plunged back into it. It's actually a good sign, because you're getting into the deeper aspects of the personality, the false ID, and accepting where you're at and what's happening. Just knowing that when things are falling apart and falling away and things aren't working the way our ego mind wants it to work, or we feel we need it to work, just letting go of control and knowing that is falling away for a reason, because that's part of the false identity. It's like our whole foundation of our identity is like built on all these false assumptions and beliefs, and so all of that has to break apart and fall away before the new can get built. It's like you can't build a house on faulty foundation. It's like you've got to rip up the foundation and put in a new one, and then you can begin to build on it. And our house, our body, it's like the temple, the house that we're living in, the temple for spirit. And if it's built on these false beliefs and assumptions of who we are, which it is, yeah, you can expect that all needs to go. And so it's uncomfortable, it's frustrating, it's painful, it's frightening to the ego self, for sure. And so anyway, I've just coming out of an ugly one, I would say, coming out, and just be eager to see like what kind of changes happen in my reality from the deep dive, and how long it lasts before I go into another deep dive. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure it's totally over, but I've been getting the, you know, the 999 messages and the 111 ones, so I know a new cycle is starting. So yeah, it's nice to, like, I always like wondered like what the heck these numbers are even for, like these angel numbers or synchronicity numbers that I've been seeing for way longer than my awakening. And now I could see like it's helpful, it's guidance when you're not sure what's going on. And yeah, the 555s, those have been my friend for a long time now. I've just come to, when I see the 555, you know, the changes, just, you know, bracing myself for the next round. So anyway, just wanted to touch base and check back in with YouTube and say I'm still here. I'm still here and doing okay and getting through it. And I think there's a lot of things happening in the 3D world, and a lot of changes happening and a lot of shifts happening. So that's all a reflection of our inner changes that are taking place right now. So I just want to wish you all well, and say hang in there, and you got this, and you can make it through okay. So all right, I'll see you next time. Bye.